The Mysterious Path Few Dare to Walk. Mysticism Part 2. Philosophical Stories about Ancient Wisdom. Welcome to Inner Stillness, where we explore profound wisdom about life, spirituality, and the mysteries within ancient cultures. This is a space where we don't just learn, but also experience and feel the timeless spiritual values that transcend the boundaries of time and space. In this video, we will continue our journey into the mystical path, a path few dare to walk, yet one that offers deep enlightenment about the very nature of existence. This path is not only about exploring the outer universe, but also a journey inward, into the depths of our own selves. Have you ever asked yourself, what is the true meaning of my existence in this world? How can I connect with my eternal, peaceful essence? If you've watched Part 1, you've likely already experienced the elevation of your soul when you freed yourself from the entanglements of materialism and intellect, returning to a pure, clear source. However, this path is not an easy one. It requires us to overcome the barriers of the small self, to open our hearts, and to find courage to embrace the unknown. But once we take that step, the wisdom we uncover can transform not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. In Part 2, I want to share with you profound philosophical stories and lessons from mystical cultures, stories not only to understand, but to feel and apply in our present lives. These teachings are not bound by time, but hold timeless truths that can guide us in finding peace and purpose amidst the chaos of the modern world. Let's dive deeper into this journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. Part 1. The Mystical Path and Ancient Wisdom Development. When we mention the mystical path, many people often imagine miraculous journeys, distant outer explorations, or even hidden secrets within ancient temples. However, in reality, this path is not found far away, but rather is an inner journey, an exploration of the deep layers of the soul, where we can connect with our true nature and the universe. In Buddhist philosophy, this path is not an abstract concept, but is clearly represented through teachings on non-self and enlightenment. Buddhist masters, such as Zen master Lin Mak, emphasize that enlightenment does not lie in the grand things outside, but in our ability to perceive the truth in the present moment. We don't need to seek enlightenment in books or distant pilgrimages. Instead, we simply need to return to ourselves, entering the silent space within our souls. It is here that all things exist as a unified whole, undivided by fame, profit, or form. The story of silence. There is a famous story in Zen teachings about a Zen master living in seclusion in an ancient forest, where the sound of the wind rustled and the clouds drifted lazily across the sky. One day, a passerby, curious about the master sitting motionless, asked, "What are you doing, master?" The Zen master slowly replied, "I am listening to the wind, watching the drifting clouds, and feeling the silence within myself." At first, the visitor did not understand the answer, but in that moment, amidst the quiet of the ancient forest, he felt an indescribable sense of peace. This was not the peace he had been seeking through work or worldly pleasures, but a calm that came from within. After this encounter, he began to ask himself, "Am I living too hurriedly, too busy, that I cannot feel the simple and humble things around me?" The lesson from silence. From this story, the profound lesson we can take away is, the mystical path is not an outward journey, but an inward one, a return to oneself. Silence is the key to unlocking the deepest wisdom about life and the nature of the universe. When we know how to stop, let go of the noise of the intellect, and truly be present in each moment, that is when we step onto the mystical path. Especially in today's age, when everything happens at a breakneck speed, taking time to find silence has become more necessary than ever. There is no need for distant journeys. Enlightenment can begin in a single breath, a single step, or a moment when you pause to observe the life around you. Ancient wisdom. The sages throughout history, from east to west, all understood that great knowledge does not come from accumulating facts, but from the ability to understand oneself. They believe that only when we listen to the silence of the soul can we clearly see the truth and understand how to harmonize with the universe. That is why ancient sages always lived close to nature, for they knew that nature was the greatest teacher, helping us explore the mysticism within ourselves. Part 2. The harmony between esoteric traditions, continued development. The mystical path is not a journey separate or unique to each religion or philosophy. On the contrary, it is a harmony between different cultures, between the profound thoughts of ancient wisdom. Each tradition, whether it be Buddhism, Kabbalah and Judaism, or other mystical philosophies, shares a common connection: the recognition of a unified and non-self universe, where all things are intertwined. In Judaism, mysticism, Kabbalah, shares many similarities with Buddhism, especially when discussing the unity of the universe and the concept of non-self. Kabbalah teaches that everything in the universe is part of an infinite existence, connected through deep principles that one can perceive if they have the ability to look beyond the surface layers of life. One of the key symbols in Kabbalah is the Tree of Life, which is not only a physical image but also a symbol of the sacred connection between humanity and God. This tree represents the close interrelationship between the layers of existence, from the lowest, mundane realm to the highest planes of awakening and enlightenment. The story of the Tree of Life. In Kabbalah, there is a story about a scholar searching for enlightenment. Although he had met many masters and studied numerous teachings, he still felt unsatisfied. Feeling the absence of depth, he continued his journey in search of more. One day, he encountered an elderly man in a small village who led him to a tree of life and said, "Look at this tree and feel the connection between everything around you." The scholar didn't immediately understand, but as he gazed at the tree, listened to the silent sounds of the space, and perceived the essence of things, a miraculous feeling arose within him. In that moment, he realized that enlightenment was not something distant or mystical, but the awareness of the profound connection between himself and the universe, a connection that exists in every moment of life. The important lesson this story teaches is, we don't need to search for enlightenment far away. It is not a destination, but a process of recognizing and feeling the sacred connection between ourselves and all that exists around us. Enlightenment does not lie outside of us. It is always present in every step we take, every breath we breathe, and every quiet moment in our daily lives. Part 3. Mysticism in Islam, the true path. One cannot overlook the mystical tradition in Islam, particularly in Sufism, Islamic mysticism. Sufism emphasizes unconditional love and a direct connection with God. In Sufism, the path to God is not one of intellect or bookish knowledge, but rather a path of the heart, of love and devotion. Sufi masters teach that to find the truth, to feel the presence of God, we must turn inward, abandon the small self to merge with the non-self, and live in harmony with all that exists. The story of Rumi, divine love. One of the most famous stories in Sufism is about the poet Rumi, who found enlightenment through divine love. Rumi, through his inspirational and profound poetry, expressed a mystical path filled with love and understanding. During one meditation under the moonlight, Rumi felt a call from deep within his soul. He stood up, gazed into the infinite space, and felt a miraculous connection with the universe and with God. Rumi wrote, "When I let go of everything, I become one with everything." This quote is not just a poem, but a profound message about humility, about letting go of the ego to merge with the universe. Rumi pointed out that the mystical path is not one of separation, but a path of integration. We must let go of the divisions between ourselves and the world, between the ego and the non-self, to realize that we are a part of everything that exists. Divine love in Sufism is not love for a specific person, but an eternal love for all beings and for God, a love that is unconditional and limitless. The lesson from Rumi's story. The lesson from Rumi's story is, the mystical path is not a path of separation, but a path of integration. Enlightenment comes when we realize that there is no distinction between ourselves and the universe, between the ego and the non-self. When we let go of division, we become one with everything around us and deeply connect with God. We no longer seek enlightenment outside of ourselves, but in the profound connection with the universe and unconditional love. Part 4. Drawing conclusions and applying them to life. When we reflect on the stories shared, we can see that, regardless of culture or religion, the mystical path has a common thread. It is the connection and harmony with the universe, with the non-self, and with our true essence. This path is not one of hardship or struggle, but a journey of liberation, of awareness and understanding. It is a return to oneself, so that we can realize that everything around us is merely part of a greater whole. In the modern world, where everything changes rapidly, we often become entangled in worries, stress, and material concerns. However, if we can take a moment to find a space of stillness in our hearts, a moment of awakening in every breath, we will realize that peace and enlightenment are not distant or unreachable. They are not found anywhere outside of us. They always exist in the present moment, in the awareness of the true nature of life. The lesson from the mystical path is the simplicity of awareness, a journey back to ourselves and the discovery of peace and inner stillness. To live a life full of meaning and enlightenment, we do not need to go far or achieve something grand. All we need to do is listen, open our hearts, and connect with the universe around us through each passing moment. Relax the soul and experience the mystical path. Allow your soul to relax and feel the peace in every breath. The mystical path is not a race, not a competition to attain something distant. On the contrary, it is a path that requires you to stop and contemplate, a journey not to seek outward, but to find it within yourself. Life often pushes us into the rush of daily routines, but sometimes it is in stillness that we find the answers. When we learn to pause, listen to ourselves, and listen to the world around us, we will realize that the mystical path is not a difficult or distant journey, but a return to ourselves, to the profound spiritual values that we can apply in every moment of life. We hope that through the stories and reflections shared today, you will find a part of the mystical path in your own life. It may be the peaceful moments amidst the busyness of work, the stillness found in simple things, or a new belief in the connection between yourself and the universe. Thank you for watching this video. If you feel the peace and wisdom from the insights shared here, don't forget to subscribe to the Inner Stillness channel to continue the journey of seeking silence and ancient wisdom. We hope that each video will be a small step toward bringing you closer to enlightenment, helping you find peace in your soul. Wishing you a peaceful journey, filled with stillness and enlightenment.